wonder why you don't have engagement on these apps, because you are using a visibility and attention tool for conversion. So you're answering every little nitty-gritty objection that a client has. You're telling them everything about the offer and all your posts and all this stuff, when that is not what this app is designed for. So of course, nobody is seeing your stuff. We are talking about marketing this week because if you don't know, I'm currently in the middle of a launch for my signature program, $1 Million Email. $1 Million Email is an email marketing program for coaches and service providers to increase your email sales and your piece at the same time and become social media optional. And we have helped so many clients to hit their first 100K all the way to $1 million a year using email marketing and using these strategies. So I wanted to come and give y'all 7-figure marketing advice today. Let's get into it. We have a lot of people here. Feel free to drop any questions as I go. Feel free to ask me questions on the lesson that I'm talking about today, as well as on $1 Million Email and what questions you have about joining. And I'll also go over different things that you need to know. With that said, 7-figure marketing advice. I wanted to do a live talking about what I think everybody should be doing in their marketing, no matter what income level they're at. A big question that I get every single $1 Million Email launch is, will it work if I have nobody on my email list? You know, what do I do can I actually be social media optional if I only have 100 people on my email list? Like, what should I be doing right now? Is this really what I should be focusing on? And I even get that at people at other income levels too, that are like, oh, I'm an experienced marketer. Is this going to help me? Do I really need to focus on this, etc.? And I was thinking about how glad I am that I focused on email marketing right when I started my business, before I even left my 9-to-5. So I wanted to talk about it. 7-figure marketing advice that I want to give. And again, feel free to ask me any questions. First and foremost, no matter where you're at, I see this at all income levels. I see side hustlers that need to do this, and I see millionaires that need to do this. No matter where you're at, you should be training your audience to buy primarily from email. You should be training, and I'm going to go into why. But this is step number one, no matter where you're at. Something that I said on a podcast that I was on. I was on this big podcast last year. And she was like, what would you say to the side hustler that has barely anyone in their audience, like has like 100 followers on their Instagram? What would you say to them about building an email list? And what I would say is, good thing you're small now, because now you can train your audience to buy from your emails primarily. You can set the culture in your audience that you primarily sell through email. I want you doing this even if you have like nobody on your social media right now. Like even if you are just starting, you should be right away training people to buy from your email list. And the reason being, the most obvious reason is, what happens when this app is gone? What happens when this app crashes? What happens when it just goes down for a little bit? Like what happens when a change is made that you don't know how to like get on fast enough, right? You want to be able to sell to people and know that they're going to actually read your emails because you have set the culture of your audience to be that way. And a lot of y'all are even making multiple 6 figures and millions and aren't doing this. You still aren't doing this. You're using email as a happy bonus. You're sending one a day and you're relying on your social media. The next reason why you want to be doing this and training your audience now to buy from emails above all else is because you can get busy, you can get sick, you can get depressed, you can have an emergency, and you need to have a strategy that is easy to delegate, easy to actually take action on, because it doesn't require a lot of content creation. It doesn't require a team. It doesn't require your face. Again, whether you are a side hustler or you are making millions, if your audience is not trained to buy, if the culture of your marketing is that the majority of your audience is not buying from email, you are going to have an issue in your business. I mentioned how important it is to train your audience because you don't know what's going to happen to this platform, or any platform for that matter. The importance of being social media optional as a human. I cannot tell you how many launches I've been sick, busy, depressed, or had an emergency, a major emergency, where I would not have made money. My clients would not have made money if they did not set the culture in their marketing to buy from email. Okay. So this is more than just like, oh, because you own your email list, you don't own a platform. This is more than that. This is, do you have a business that doesn't need a lot of content skills, a lot of your time and energy and your face to actually make money? Because there is going to inevitably come a time where you are going to need this skill. So if right now you're a side hustler or millions, if the culture of your marketing is that they primarily rely on you in social media, that's going to be an issue down the line. The other thing that comes up is long form for conversion, short form for visibility. This app, and really any short form focused app, is not designed for conversion. It's designed for visibility and attention. So when you are using a visibility and attention tool for long form content, y'all wonder why you don't have engagement. The app doesn't reward that. You wonder why you don't have engagement on these apps, because you are using a visibility and attention tool for conversion. So you're answering every little nitty gritty objection that a client has. You're telling them everything about the offer and all your posts and all this stuff, when that is not what this app is designed for. So of course, nobody is seeing your stuff. A lot of people are like, they come to me and they're like, oh, Kirsten, I'm not even making sales on social media, so I don't even know how I would make sales through email. I'm like, well, first of all, you got to change your social media strategy fundamentally. Like, if you're going to keep using social media just in general, you would have to, yeah, of course you're not making sales on it. You're using it wrong. You're using it you're using a short form platform in a long form way. So you're literally just using it wrong. It's not designed for that. And so with that in mind, you want to make sure that you are training your audience to buy from email for a few reasons. So I've already given you two. I'm going to give you another one. Higher deliverability, right? It's not an entertainment-based algorithm. It's an permission-based algorithm, which means as long as you got permission, meaning an opt-in, you're getting in the inbox, right? You are getting in the inbox. Permission filters are very forgiving. Everybody's always so worried about spam. It's very forgiving. You're automatically getting seen by more people, number one. Number two, you are able to show up in their inbox in a sequential way, as opposed to this random ordering that Instagram or TikTok or whatever does, where it's not sequential. So you're trying to work people through a sales campaign and trying to work them through from the top of your funnel to the end of it on a non-sequential app. On an app that will not show them from top of funnel to end of funnel. Of course you're not converting here. Of course you're not going to convert here as high as you could, right? While with email, you're training your audience to buy from email, you are training them and putting them through an actual buyer's journey and experience, right? Because all of your name is going to show up all in one place, and people know from bottom to top, that's the order in which you sent the emails. And they're able to peruse accordingly. They're able to see the entire buyer's journey, etc. You want to make sure that you are getting as many people reading your emails, because then they will actually go through a campaign with you. They will actually go through a campaign with you, and they will actually get your stuff. So we've talked about training your audience now to buy from email. We've talked about you don't own the platform, you don't know what's going to happen. We've talked about the importance of being social media optional. We've talked about high deliverability and working people through a proper sales campaign. And we talked about like long form versus short form. We started to touch on that. Just to speak more to that, long form versus short form. Again, short form is for visibility and attention. Long form, your audience needs more time as well. We need to talk about time. Your audience has a lot of questions that they need thoroughly answered. And again, because of sales psychology, they often are thinking it in a more sequential way through your buyer. They're going through a whole buyer's journey. So email is better for that than something like a short form app. You are trying to answer their questions in a short form way, as opposed to having it thoroughly answered. So you're going to increase conversions alone when you're training your audience to buy from email, because you are addressing their objections as they come up thoroughly, right? Which then brings me to time spend. So now we're on the fifth reason why you need to be training your audience now to buy from email. No matter if you're a side hustler or you're at millions, or the fifth reason, time spent, content. Okay, let's say you do that here. Like, let's say you're like, oh, I like have a whole campaign that I'm putting on social media, front to back, buyer's journey. I don't care if it's not sequential, which I don't know why that would be the case. Why would you use this app wrong? But like, I don't care if it's not sequential, this and that. Like, I have a whole campaign. Anything that I would put in emails, I'm going to put on social media. Why would you waste all that time with all that content creation? You would have to create, let's say you're doing carousels to thoroughly answer people's objections. You got to create the graphic. You got to actually edit it on the app. Then you have to make the caption. Then you have to do this, you have to do that. The reel, right? You got to script the reel, record the reel, upload the reel, caption the reel, subtitles, come up with the hook, come up with the actual caption of the reel. How many live videos are you going to do? This is my only live video of this whole launch. How many live videos are you going to do? Daily? Multiple times a day? How many stories are you going to make? You have to think about the time spent. You are literally being inefficient in your marketing. You're being inefficient. And then y'all come to me and are like, oh, I have no time. I don't know if I'll have time to do something like that. I'm like, because you're literally wasting your time. You're being inefficient. So my 7-figure marketing advice is training your audience to buy from email is the most efficient, high converting strategy that you can do for your business, your email marketing, and for your social media. We have clients that join $1 Million Email that are like, why am I making more sales on my social media? I'm like, because you're using it right now. Because you're using it correctly. That was just number one. Let's see if I had any questions come up from that. I offer personal branding services. Can you tell ways to reach out to clients? Make sure you're marketing yourself and applying this advice. You should be building an email list, telling people that you send exclusive weekly emails on branding content. You send exclusive branding content to your email list and building an email list and then selling to them. Hello, where do you set up your email list at? So you set up your email list on your email marketing platform. You'll create what's called an opt-in on your email marketing platform, and that is where you will be able to start collecting leads. 7-figure marketing advice. Number 2, small list, high conversion mindset. And this goes for social media too. This is why I said marketing and not just email marketing. This also goes for anywhere you do your marketing. You need to have a small list, high conversion mindset. A lot of y'all do not focus on converting your current audience. And I'm not saying like you should always be growing your audience. I'm always working on growing my audience, growing my email list. You should always have like a stream of new leads flowing in. That's a part of marketing. You should always have lead generation as a part of your marketing strategy. However, you all will only focus on one or the other. And usually you'll focus on, I need more leads, and not focus on your conversions when you need to be focusing on both at the same time. I was able to hit $300,000 in 1 year, technically over that, but I can't remember the exact number, but $300,000 in 1 year in my first year in business while at a 9-to-5 with a list below 300 subscribers. Because you know what my thought was? My thought was plenty. That's plenty. I hit 6 figures with 100 subscribers. I was like, this is plenty. I don't need more than this. This is plenty. If I had to convert everyone on this list, what kind of content would I create? And also, writing emails helped me to be a thought leader. Because not only was I literally leading in their inbox, I was the only one showing up as much as I was. Not only was I showing up in their inbox more than anyone, but also I was creating my own intellectual property and my leadership, which helped me to convert higher and higher. You need to have a small list, high conversion mindset. Stop asking me, is it enough? Do I have enough people? What do you mean? Do we not all know by now that you can have a small audience and do a lot? But the problem is, people know that on social media, but they don't know that with email. They somehow think email is different when actually email is easier to convert with a smaller list because of everything that I said. It is literally easier to have 50 subscribers in your email list than it is to have, let's say, 200, 300 people on social media. It is easier to make money because it's a higher converting platform. It's long form content with high deliverability. Like, it is easier to have a smaller audience with email. And so I will say this until the cows come home. I will say this until I'm blue in the face. You do not need a big email list to make a lot of money. You could be making your first 100K with less than 100 subscribers, all the way to your first million with less than 1,000 subscribers. That is what I did because I had a small list, high conversion mindset, because I saw email marketing as an easier and higher converting tool than social media. And I started growing my email list with less than 100 followers. A lot of y'all are like, should I be focusing on that right now? Should I be focusing on that right now? Because, right now I got to build up my social media, especially the side hustlers. Like right now I got to build up my social media and build up my brand so people actually want to join my email list. If you have 50 people in your audience right now, you are choosing not to convert them. You are choosing not to convert them right now if they are not on your email list. Again, because you're fighting for visibility and attention and you are not showing up in their inbox every week, which brings me to 7-figure marketing advice. 7-figure marketing advice for anyone from side hustler to millions. You should be the number one person in your client's inbox. I don't have algorithm problems. I don't have that problem. I don't have visibility issues. I don't have getting in front of my client issues because I'm the number one person in their inbox every single week. And they will tell you that. I'm the number, and I have been since 2019 when I first started my business. Really 2020 was beginning of 2020. I've been the number one person in their inbox. I made 6 figures with less than 100 subscribers and then 300K with less than 300 subscribers because I was in their inbox. You could not forget me. A lot of y'all are just letting yourselves be forgettable because you're relying on social media. Or you're not sending enough emails. 7-figure marketing advice. Don't be forgettable. Don't make people wait to see you. Why would you make people wait to see you until the algorithm pushes you up? I have people that I love to follow on social media that the algorithm, stories for a lot of y'all will be like, oh, well, that's why I post on stories and not on my feed. I'm like, there are people that I love to follow that I engage with frequently and I will not see their stories for weeks. Come to find out that they weren't being shown to me for whatever reason. Why would you make yourself forgettable? Why would you make people wait to see you? 7-figure marketing advice. High value, high sales. So 7-figure marketing advice. A lot of y'all don't know how to give a lot of value and sell at the same time because you're not seeing problem solving as value. You're not seeing knowing your ideal client and having them feel seen as value. Your ideal client is looking, like the way I like to describe it is a lot of you all are focusing on how to. For example, you'll send emails and it'll be like a how to email because you think you need to give all this value before you sell, number one. So you'll do how to. Instead of making the client and the subscriber, if you will, feel seen, and making them very clear that you know them better than anyone and you know how to. When someone feels seen and feels known, they're like, forget the how to. You help me. I know you got the how to. When somebody feels seen and known. And so instead of focusing on before and after, before you have the strategy and after you have the strategy, or this is what you're going through and this is how I help, right? Instead you're doing how to and all this stuff. That's messing up your conversions as well because people aren't, it kind of goes back to you have to think about buyer psychology. Is someone in a buying mood when they're reading a how to, or are they oh, okay, let me switch this on now and see, is this something I actually want to consider? And so a lot of you all need to learn how to give high value, high sales. And a big thing I teach my 7-figure marketing advice with that is you need to know your client. You need to know your client better than anyone. You need to know them so well. You need to think about them even before you have them. You need to study your niche and your industry. When I was a side hustler and I had no clients, do you know what I was doing? I was following ideal clients and I was watching everything they did. And I was asking myself, in the context of my niche and my skill set, what could I be helping them with right now? What could I be offering them right now? What are they doing that they shouldn't be? What are they not doing that they should be? How can I help them? I had clients in my mind before I even had clients. And then I was helping myself. I was like, okay, with myself. For me, I started out as a VA OBM. So I was like, What do my systems look like? How can I make sure I'm inspiring to my clients with my systems and my approach, all this stuff, right? And so a lot of you all are not thinking enough about your ideal client. And I want to be clear, you all will know their avatar like the back of your hand. I had this one person in $1 Million Email this week. She was like, my ideal client is the 30 to 35-year-old woman who does this and does that and this, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, that's not what I mean. When I mean knowing your ideal client, I mean being able to help them feel seen, knowing them like the back of your hand, and then thus being able to deliver solutions that nobody else is delivering.